Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TD PHINS TALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Punch that like button. Here we are, another day of the off season, at least for us, because it starts early because we ain't do nothing this year. All right, but we're going to be back, baby. But listen, man, we got a lot to talk about. The reality is we're going to talk about the truth about the John Harbaugh to Miami situation. Don't believe everything you hear and don't discount everything you hear. I'm just saying, I'm going to break it all down right here on TD PHINS Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. All right, y'all, before we get started, we want you to know that this stream is being powered by Sleeper. Take advantage of a $100 deposit match up to $100 using code TD PHINS. All right, get in on the action. Again, get a $100 deposit match up to $100 using code TD PHINS. Sleeper is not just for player props. It also has fantasy, news, everything you need. Make sure you check it out. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. All right. Listen, man, make sure when you go sign up, you use that code though. All right. Because I know a lot of people have signed up. If you click the link in the description section, it's going to automatically pre-fill the code so you wouldn't have to worry about it. So make sure you get in on that. Shout out to Sleeper being a proud sponsor of the channel. Let's get into it, okay? What's real and what's not about Harbaugh? Everybody's floating around the Josina Anderson report. Then the Dolphins, in which the Josina Anderson report is being taken out of context. Josina Anderson, from my understanding, and I'm gonna go double check, by the way, because I want to make sure that we're on point here. Give me a second. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is what Josina Anderson is reporting. All right. All right. She said, let me pull the right one up. I'm told the Dolphins have been in touch on John Harbaugh per league sources. It's my understanding Todd Monken could have a path to still be Harbaugh's OC, withstanding other opportunities. If Monken departs Baltimore with the arrival of the Ravens' new head coach. It's also my understanding, though, that team quarterback situation will be a big factor in the ongoing decision and evaluation process. Then you had reporters with the Miami Dolphins coming out saying the Dolphins have not contacted John Harbaugh, period. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's not us. Slow down, okay? Slow down. This is a very delicate situation. Either the Dolphins are overly competent, which is a great thing, or grossly incompetent, which is the worst thing. Let's start out with competence. This is what competence is. Of course, they're going to come out and say they haven't contacted him because there is no guarantee to get him. Reaching out to him is trying to get him. But there's no guarantee, and we're one of the particular teams that actually has a head coach under contract who still doesn't know his fate. All these rumors, many believe that Mike McDaniel is safe. Many in the organization feel that Mike McDaniel is going to continue. Whatever. Many believe. Many think. Nothing factual. Until he meets with Ross on Friday, I don't think we'll really know about that situation unless we get a statement from ownership. Okay? So all these reports that many believe, we have no clue. Many believe. That is no difference from we haven't contacted Harbaugh. We don't know if they've contacted Harbaugh. Remember, we have hired Troy Aikman as an advisor. We have no clue what's going on in this situation, but here's what I would tell you. If the Dolphins are any semblance of competent, any iota of competent, they have definitely reached out to Harbaugh. They have definitely got his take and his agent and talked to him about, what's your thoughts? What do you think about Miami? What do you think about Mike McDaniel? What do you think about coming here? If you were to come here, and would you be willing to keep Mike, or would you want your own guy? So for the Dolphins to come out and say they have not reached out to him, that is utter incompetence, and I don't believe it. I believe that the circumstances that the Dolphins are in right now, until I hear the Miami Dolphins make a statement that they haven't, not a writer saying I spoke to 3 people in the organization and none of them believe we have reached out, whatever. Until I hear the Miami Dolphins say that, I can't believe it, because that means we will be the most incompetent organization ever. So I'm still in belief that they have definitely talked to Harbaugh. They have definitely reached out to him. And in that process, they're just trying to get their ducks in a row and see the chance they have, because they still have Mike. Here's the reality. The Miami Dolphins do not want to find another head coach unless they know they can get a slam dunk. I truly believe they don't mind bringing Mike back for one more year. It's going to be like a bridge year, unless he shocks us, which he ultimately won't, because they know this roster isn't going to be built. They know a new general manager is going to come in and get to assessing mode and put a little team together to try to little low-level competing. They know this. They know that they don't want to re-sign all these guys to longer-term deals. Brooks, HN, and all of these guys, especially with a new GM coming in. You think the new GM coming in with minimal money want to go ahead and look at certain guys and be like, all right, I'm still going to sting y'all. I'm going to make it a little worse. No. So the Dolphins have reached out. The problem is you can't, and Omar Kelly said this perfectly last night on the Dolphins Collective. The reality is it's like, man, I got a girlfriend that's a 7, and I'm looking at this 10 that's available, man. I'm finna go holler at her. It ain't, I ain't condoning it. I ain't saying it's right. Because Alan Poupart made a great point too. Man, go ahead and break up with the 7 if you're going to even pursue the 10. But the Dolphins want their cake and eat it too. They done got slapped on the head a few times for wanting their cake and eat it too. They done this before. Sean Payton, Brady, they had their cake. And then they wanted to eat it too. That's all this is. They ain't fooling nobody, of course, because cheaters cheat. Cheaters lie. Of course, you'll be like, I ain't talking to her. I'm not talking to her. What y'all talking about? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I haven't talked to her. That's what's going on. I'll be hard pressed to think about it otherwise. That's exactly what's happening right now. The Dolphins love what they see. They want to pursue it, but they got to be careful because they in something right now. That's the reality, man. So that's what's going on in this situation. That's what's going on in this situation. Shout out to Flick Short, who said you should stream the Canes game tomorrow. Trust. I might. I actually might. It might be dope. Yeah, exactly. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. I ain't talking to her 3 days from now. I don't know how her number got on my phone. So that's what the Dolphins are doing, man. Because if you want to deny all of this, fine. I don't have a problem with you coming out here lying, actually, just saying, no, we're not. I mean, that's organizations do that. They can't show their hand. But all I'm saying is, if you really are being faithful to your 7, you're good, you're good, you're a good person, okay? But I'm sorry. You're gonna be miserable because you don't love the 7. You shouldn't be with the 7 anyway. Your problem is you can't handle being alone. And I'm gonna tell you, the Dolphins, to be honest with you, they should let go of Mike McDaniel. The problem is they got that syndrome. Yeah, but what if I don't find better? It doesn't matter. You're not in love with your 7. Like call it what it is. See, and this is what people need to realize. The Dolphins are not in love with Mike McDaniel. They like him. He's a good person. They like Mike McDaniel, but they aren't in love with him. They're in a relation. They are in a loveless relationship. And loyalty is the best thing. But at the end of the day, why are you wasting your time? Your future is on the line. Go find your next love. That's what this is. That's what's going on in Miami right now. And I'm going to tell you now, they need to do the right thing. Meet with Mike McDaniel, move on, and try to find you another love. That's it. Just find you a real head coach that you really love, that you feel good about. And if you miss out, it's okay. You gotta swing that bat, man. You gotta swing that bat. If you miss out, and I get it, you've been burned before. You've been burned before. You done approached, I get it. You've approached candidates and they've burnt you and said, no, I'm not attracted to you. And you know what? This is and I love going down this analogy path because it all makes sense. See, the Dolphins have to work on themselves. We're not attractable. Look at us right now. We're not attractive to these candidates. And that's why the Dolphins are nervous. That's why they play in these games. Because they know we aren't attractive. So they don't want to outpunt their coverage. That's what's going on. Man, I'm in a yeah, that's what's going on right now. They don't want to outpunt their coverage and be alone or have to go settle. That's what's at risk here. Going after it all or settling. And I'm here to say this is the problem with the Dolphins. They need to straighten up their image. They need to work on their hygiene. They need to work on their appearance. All of that, man. They need to become attractive again. And it's hard to be attractive when you have a history of making bad decisions. You have a history of just not being that, It's like if your ex was a 2, I mean, a 10 is going to be like, that was your ex. No, I can't mess with you. This is just reality. Like, there's people that be like, I can't even believe y'all went this far with Tua. Like, you know how y'all got all those anonymous things in the media? Per a GM or executives around the league, Tua is just a middling quarterback. All of those things that kept coming out from certain GMs. This is how the field looks at you. Like, oh, they cute. Like, okay, all right. If it works for you, that's what's going on. They need to straighten up their image, man. The Dolphins need to get in the gym. They need to go, work out. They need to make sure that they take care of their skin. They need to, get their image together. They need to go, get a good job, look like you can provide, look like you can, help, whatever. Like, make yourself look sellable. And what do we have? What's sellable for the Dolphins? Y'all help me out. What's sellable for the Dolphins? You got a 10 available right now. What would the 10 look at and say, you know what? That's looking good over there, man. I need to, they like me too. Okay. They're like, come on. What do we have? A quarterback that they should have never paid. And let me tell you another thing. Here's another thing with the general managers. They also looking at the fact that y'all fired Chris Grier, but the GM may make decisions, but look at the higher ups. How did y'all even allow that to happen? Like, here's another thing. You know how you go to work, right? You may be a line staff member. You got a supervisor. Many of y'all may not know this because I was in management in corporate America. Your supervisor's job isn't just to push papers, sign your time sheet, and do all that. They should be developing you to be the best version of yourself in that job role you can. And if you have desires to be promoted, one day have their job. That's a great supervisor. And then a manager should be doing the same thing to a supervisor. And a director should be doing the same thing to a manager. And a assistant vice president should be doing the same thing to a director. A vice president should be doing the same thing to an assistant vice president. A regional vice president should be doing the same thing to a vice president. All the way up. It's development. We all want to blame Chris Grier for his shortcomings, which we should. But where's the accountability for the person above Chris Grier that even allowed some of that obvious egregious stuff to happen? Obvious egregiousness. Like, if you're a supervisor and you seeing that one of your staff is literally not making a good decision, you veto it, even if they have the power. No, we're not going to do that. Because now let me show you why, so that you can make better decisions. Who's developing the general manager? Who's over the general manager calling balls and strikes like, no. And here's why it's not like that, because they don't have a real system in place. They don't have a real system in place. They just got people playing the game of football without having a surefire system that works in place with accountability everywhere. Well, you didn't follow this. You didn't follow that. You went off a hunch and you did that and it didn't work. You didn't follow this. These are our guidelines. We look for players that have this, that, and this. He didn't have this, that, and this, but you went there anyway. We don't have those type of things in place. See, everybody look at the game of football as just a game, but it's so much more structured. It's corporate. It's structured. Like, you have to, like I know you, like, the only people that should be playing the game are the players. Everything else should have a strict guideline. What you're looking for, underwriting is what you really call it. If this is this, you do that. If that is that, you do that. If a player is this, you don't do this. If a player is that, you should have all of that. Like, just have it locked in. So you can identify when somebody goes outside of that. And if it doesn't work, you can say, hey, you didn't follow the guidelines. If it does work, hey, you should follow the guidelines, but hey, it worked. But remember, you can be held accountable if it doesn't. We don't have that. We got the players playing the game. We got the coaches playing the game. We got the GMs playing the game. We look like we got the executives playing the game. At some point, it shouldn't be a game. The players should play the game and the coach on game day. That's the problem. That's a big part of the problem. And this is why Ross leans on everybody else, because he thinks it's just the game when he needs to bring his managerial, his business savvy acumen to it as well, especially when it comes to that office. I promise you, Stephen Ross, it's the same. Don't let these people, well, we know balls, so let us make the decisions. No, it's the same as what you do. You've been successful. Some things are just common sense. Just like you didn't want to give Tua the money to begin with, your common sense told you that because it didn't make sense to you. You knew, I don't know everything about the game, but I know he always hurt. I know he ain't that good as y'all keep on acting like. I know this, I know that. I don't see why we're paying him, but y'all saying we should. Okay. No. Stick with your business acumen. When it get that high, you're making those decisions. That's for fans to do. Oh, no, you got to pay them. That's for fans. It's your job to make the sound right decision. That's part of the problem with a lot of organizations. Too many organizations. They don't know where that split is, where the game is being played, and the decisions are being made. That split. No emotion entangling. Straight up. That's a big part of the problem. So blame Chris Greer all you want, which he has massive blame in all of this. But who was above him allowing it? At some point, where was the questioning? Like, no, we're not doing that. Now, it's one thing when you say we're not doing that, but if you want to do it, you put your job on the line, and that's why he got fired. But it went on too long. It went on too long. Bad decisions went on too long. Like, we keep making bad decisions. You want to know another thing that we constantly do as a bad decision? We keep taking projects in the first round and the second round. First round and second round, how are you not drafting day one starters that should be able to contribute right away? This is where position value matters. Everybody always says, well, best player available. You don't go no best player available. You go best player available at position value. There could be a third round left tackle that's more valuable than a late first round linebacker. From a value standpoint. It's why people say you don't draft guards early in the first unless they're like the best of all, you know? I agree. It might be the best player available, but I ain't taking that there. Same thing with a center. But we out here getting a third down specialist and Chop Robinson in the first round. We out here drafting guys like Noah Igbenogany, who we admit, well, he's raw, but his upside. What? If you got to use the word upside in the first round, you already wrong. If you have to use the word upside in the first round, you already failed. Cam Smith. All of these guys, man. Kenneth Grant. I ain't going to knock on Kenneth Grant. I'm going to take that one off the board. Ignore I just said that. He playing like, oh, why did we do it? But his stock was up there. I ain't going to lie. Because I had it up there. He wasn't my pick, but he was one of my 3 picks. So, hey, we got to see how that work out. Hopefully it get better. If not, we all wrong. It's the reality, man. The Dolphins let themselves go. So that's why it's going to be hard to get Harbaugh to begin with. Unless Harbaugh is one of those good soul people to be like, it's okay that you let yourself go. I know your potential. I'm gonna help build you back up. You know, and that's rare. We let ourselves go. Look at all the decisions we made. Look at the roster right now. Like when you evaluate our roster right now, we have nothing. Like we're like a 15%er, like our roster. Oh, we got a nice little receiver in Waddle, but oh, HM, but he need money. So that's a little contention. What else we got? Oh, I mean, Patrick Paul's pretty good. Okay, yeah. Left tackle, all right. Center, but he need money. The center need money now. Brooks, but he need money now. So there are some pieces, but I can't really rely on those pieces. I got to come in as a general manager and go through training camp hell right away. I'm trying to clean this out and get our money right. And I got 5 players that need money right now. And they not even going to be here whenever I build this to the point to where we should be competing, because most general managers got a 3-year plan. Come in, evaluate year 1 and make cuts and roster moves. Year 2, and draft some players. Year 2, develop them players you already drafted, make a few more cuts and clean the books. Year 3, all right, here's a big draft and let's go compete. That's usually a general manager's 3-year plan. So you give these guys money, in year 3, they need more, because I'm not giving anybody on this roster other than maybe HN a 5-year deal, nor a 4-year deal. Given their age and everything. And on top of that, most of them, this their first year of truly balling out is just a 1-year sample. I can't be committing to nobody more than a 3-year deal. And even on a 3-year deal, I'm really trying to only guarantee 60% of it. So guarantees this year, guarantees next year, and then when it's time to compete, all y'all knocking at the general manager door again like, I ain't got no more guarantees, man. I need some more money. And you're all older. The only attractive thing for a general manager is to be given the green light to come in, do what we did 7 years ago when we got rid of it all, including Tunsil, and start building from scratch. That's the only appealing thing. Because if you're not going to let me do that, you're kind of setting me up here. We're going to suck for the next 2 years. So Mike's going to get fired. I'm going to have to go get another coach. More, and then the new coach I get, all the players that we do have and I just re-signed, they may not even fit the new system. So do I need to go find a coach with the same system? No. We are in nothing is rolling together systematically, everything fitting in. Like it's supposed to be perfect in a sense of, well, when that happens, I'll bring that person in and they can go. And like we're so much in debt in everything. How we operate in everything is in a deficit. And setting up everybody in the future in a negative way at the beginning. So how you think a GM gonna feel if he goes and see, and it's another thing about the Mike McDaniel situation that a general manager got to think about. He got to sit there and say, okay, here's Mike's system. I got to go in the draft this year. And obviously I got to draft players that's conducive to Mike's system. And then if Mike is so trash next year, which he still might be because this ain't a great roster, and I don't plan on keeping Mike long term, if I do keep him a year, because everybody going to be calling for a job anyway when we win 7 games, 6 games, 5 games. So now I got to go find another coach, and I don't know the system I got to find a coach that is going to bring a system that fits the players I already bought. Do y'all see how backwards we working? This is why you got to scratch the whole thing. You got to scratch this whole thing. And I know this don't mean as much, but it's still a little baseline that you can take. We got the second hardest schedule next season as of now. I just don't believe it. Mike McDaniel, I still believe he's going to get fired because keeping him, it's going to be a throwaway year, but that means you're just using him for another year to fire him anyway the year after. I don't believe he's going to be the Dolphins head coach, and he still could be, but this whole GM situation is 10 times harder just with him in the mix. Ross is afraid of being single, y'all. Keep the 7 for now until the 10 has a decision. Yeah, but it's still to what end? Man, I don't know what I want, a Canes natty or Harbaugh. How about both? All right, Mr. Finisher said, TD, did you send that resume into the Dolphins organization yet? They are still searching for a GM. Hey, man, it's on their desk, man. No, the Dolphins, man. I don't know. They got to figure it out. As a Ravens fan, you do not want John Harbaugh. Harbaugh would back Tua 100%. He did the same with 77 Daniel Falele, whatever, of the Ravens. Harbaugh wouldn't back Tua because he wouldn't be allowed to. Our owner doesn't want Tua anymore. Our owner's done with Tua. Our owner understands who Tua is. Our owner's done listening to people try to tell him who Tua is when he himself has already made his assessment of Tua Tagovailoa. So Harbaugh wouldn't be advocating for Tua. Now, that could be a problem in the future for whoever comes in, him advocating for a bad QB. But guess what? How about just get a good QB? Get him his next Lamar. So you don't have to worry about whether or not he's advocating properly. That's simple. Easy fixes, man. There are too many easy fixes around here. We just complicate them. The Dolphins complicate everything. Let's call it what it is. Man, nah, TD, us Miami fans can't have both. We have a magical spell on Miami teams. Can't get it all clicking at the right time. Hey, if you believe that, but I'm going for the gusto. I want it all. Whew. Omar Kelly said the last time Stephen Ross went after Harbaugh when he had a head coach 2011 employed. Yeah, we've done this before. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all too. We've done this. We've had a coach employed and went after Harbaugh. And again, the embarrassment is getting turned down by Harbaugh and having to go to your coach and be like, hey, listen, man, no, man, that was all rumors. I just wanted to get his take on a few things, smooth it over. That's what it ends up being. Smooth over. Man, fans need to sign Mario Cristobal, Canes coach. Listen, man. Hey, listen, you can fall in love with college, but it ain't ever going to be no college team that becomes a pro team. It's going to always be mix and match, all right? But yeah, man, I get it. You just offer him an offer he can't refuse, and his agent will be like, sign. Listen, I'm with, but that's why you cannot rule this out. Because Stephen Ross got the pockets for it. Stephen Ross got the pockets to say, hey, man, here comes $17, $18 million a year for 5 years. Almost $100 million. Man, maybe even $20 million a year for 5 years, $100 million contract. Bam. 80% of the teams dropped just like that. Out just like that. 80%. Oh man, let me. No, it's not working. I was finna show y'all, so I'll have to get it for y'all later. Winning is priceless. Yeah, man. Stephen Ross say he want to bring a winner to Miami. All right, let's see. He say he want to bring a winner to Miami. Let's see. And in Florida, you ain't dealing with no state tax either on that coaching salary. What up, TD? Of the available jobs, how attractive is the Miami job with all our issues? That's a great question. All right, we got the Raiders. They'll be able to start fresh. That's appealing. Browns, their quarterback situation is an issue, but their money isn't as bad as ours. I know the Watson situation, but they're about to come on the backside of that. But that ain't a great situation, though. Falcons, beautiful situation. Because they don't even know if they believe in Penix, so the new coach would be able to say whether or not he gets to get his own guy. Giants, pretty appealing. A lot of people believe in Jackson Dart, think that he still has a lot of upside. You come in there and see what you can do. And if he doesn't work out, you may not even get blamed. You may get to try new. So that buys you time. Cardinals, this should be a great opportunity. Gannon was just bad. And they know Kyler Murray is gone. So you get a fresh start into that. I like the Cardinals situation. Titans situation, if you believe in Cam Ward, you got to love that situation. Everything fresh, new. You get to keep building. It's just a matter of if Cam Ward's really that dude as an NFL player. You got to find out. We can't judge him now. Just terribleness all around him. So we are probably out of the 7 on the list. We're probably tied at 6 or 7. We're right in that mix with the Browns. Well, really, we're 6 or 7. It's us or the Browns. Everything else ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Let me see here. Falcons would be a good fit. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, man, it's a lot of news coming out right now. We just got to see what ends up happening. Let's see. I'm trying to see about no, there's no update on it. We'll find out more in the coming hours and days. All right. All right, man. Anywho, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Right now, we just got to sit back and watch and see what the Dolphins do if they, do what's right. Only time will tell. Man, if there was no salary cap, we could have all of the free agents and everyone 5-star Mr. Ross has that money for sure. That is one thing we don't lack. I think if the NFL didn't have a salary cap, you'd actually realize who the real versus the fake are in the NFL as far as owners. A lot of owners would fold. They not trying to not make profit. You go get the best team, you probably ain't really gonna profit. Not unless, and it's still a risk. But the NFL has a perfect product by not having no cap, by actually having a salary cap and every team making profit. It gives everybody a chance every year. In baseball, you know the heavy hitting teams and all the other ones. But yeah, this definitely gives everybody a chance every year. They just got to be able to get it right and execute on every level of an organization. It's that simple. All right, y'all. I'm going to get ready for 4th and Forever, 1 o'clock. I'll see y'all over there. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. When I know more, you'll know more. You know I'll be live giving it to you. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all stay blessed. Peace. I am out. Shout out to all the real Dolphin fans. Love y'all.